Hi, I'm Catherine.
And I'm Lynn, and we are a coffee break
with Cat and Mom. Welcome back to our podcast. Today is episode 23, and as you can tell from the title, today we are going to be reacting to Am I the Asshole Reddit stories. Shout out to one of our listeners, Cheyenne. She had the idea of having us react to Reddit stories, so that is what we're going to be doing today. But before we dive into that, we're just going to give you guys a little week in review. So we weren't together for this past week.
I know.
So we're actually filming this episode last minute and it comes out tomorrow for you guys. So what did you do this week? Because I wasn't with you.
I wasn't missing you so bad. No, your older sister, well, okay, a little bit. Your older sister is here for spring break, and we tried everything to get her on this episode. Someday she will. It was my second week of work at the new office, and things went a whole lot better than the week prior. So I'm hoping like every week is going to get better. But first paycheck came in, I was like, yeah, that's all good. Everything's good. But yeah, your sister's here, so it's been pretty busy, and we did some fun things and a couple of late nights. So
yeah, it was actually perfect to get dressed up for this podcast because after we're going to go to dinner at Clematis Street at Elisabetta's, so that's exciting. This past week I was in Montreal, which was a lot of fun. I was doing an internship and I planned a whole event. I've talked about this in past episodes, but I planned a whole event and it was for the hockey team. I'm not going to say it right, so you're going to say it.
Les Lions de Trois-Rivières.
Yeah, I don't have the accent, so I look stupid when I say it. But Heritage General Canada sponsors a sports team every year, and I got to plan the event this year, which was a lot of fun. And I had
about financial future.
Yep. So I made a speech on financial literacy, and I do have a fear of public speaking, even though I do talk to like a mic every week. But it's different when it's like a camera versus
front of
like
everybody.
50 hockey players, But that was a lot of fun. It went absolutely perfect. I had a great time. I got to see my grandma, and
she got spoiled.
I got spoiled. I didn't get spoiled.
Completely spoiled.
It was a lot of fun, and I love how in Montreal there's a bunch of snow still. So you feel like it's Christmas all over again, going from Florida back there. People still have their Christmas lights up. Cheyenne still has her Christmas decorations up.
But that's because she didn't take the time to take them down. No, but I think
it's fun because I'm like, oh, it's Christmas all over again. But so that was my week. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And I learned a lot about my own. You know what? That was my idea for this podcast episode. I was on the plane and I thought of a great podcast idea. And I forgot it completely.
But you didn't write it down.
Next episode, we're going to be talking about confidence, and tied in with that public speaking is I learned a lot from that event because I saw where my confidence lacked, and I got to see my cousin who was amazing at speaking, and she just the second she walked into the room, people were listen to what she had to say. So I learned a lot. And
well, we'll say, I saw the video of your speech, and people were all listening.
Yeah.
And they were eating at the same time. So, for the part that I could see, and they were listening and they were laughing at your joke. And when you said something funny, they all turned around to look at you. So
yeah,
you had their attention.
Yeah, no, but it took me a while to gain that confidence. It's not other people. I think it's just within us. We just have this prior misconception of what other people think or are judging us on. But what they say about Marilyn Monroe, her feminine energy when she walked into a room. So I want to do the next episode on that. So now I won't forget because it is going to be live. I can go back to in the video and be like that. Yep.
That's.
I know I said it. So there it is. But so it was a great week for both of us. And now every episode we do a coffee review, and we review a small coffee shop to promote businesses and owners. And we went to one this morning after Pilates, hot Pilates, which was a lot of fun.
Which my oldest daughter wanted to do. I wanted us to do some different classes, whatever. She took one in Jupiter. It was a hot yoga, something, super hard. I should, and I want to do more yoga. What I thought I did. But today what we did was hot Pilates. And it was 45 minutes, and it was instead of being a soothing music, it was actually
kind of like
really
a little
upbeat.
bit like
I mean,
more
there was
upbeat,
Pitbull
yeah.
at some point playing,
But
and I was like, oh my god,
I love Pilates because I do Pilates, like floor Pilates, and so like some of the moves that she did, I like do for my floor Pilates. And I was like,
I did
and then,
from head to toe, like every single
Yeah.
muscle. We worked every single
it
muscle.
was a lot harder than
But
the
it was
Pilates
hot,
I do.
and it was like red light too.
Infrared.
Infrared light.
Yeah,
So
it was
she said it's
awesome.
good for everything. So I'm like, I mean, it was in Palm Beach, so it was called like the studio.
No.
Yoga studio of Palm Beach.
No,
Hot yoga of Palm Beach.
it was in.
No, I think that's what it says in the sticker. Anyways, it was Okeechobee Boulevard, and
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. It was small. It was great.
Yeah.
It was 45 minutes. We were sweating like crazy, and I felt like my whole body was, was work, and I loved it. So, obviously shout out to that one.
To them, yeah. But
then we went to the.
after we went to it, we're like, okay, we need a review coffee shop. So like, let's look at one nearby. There's one 4 minutes away, which is perfect. Get your Pilates in, go get a coffee at Pumphouse Coffee Shop or Coffee House. Pumphouse Coffee, I think.
Pumphouse Coffee.
Yeah.
And it's in the, what is it called? The whatever district, no, not commercial district. We need to look this up. It's all like kind of big building, like manufacturing kind of building. You just like, what are you sure this is here, blah, blah. And then it was next to a studio that you can rent
for podcasts.
to do podcasts.
So I was like, that's perfect, get our coffee.
Yeah, but we walked in there. I mean, it looks like it's like I'm telling, like a cement building next to it. It's like old school kind of a CrossFit gym next to it and stuff. So I mean, we walked in, and then you just walk around, and all of a sudden to our left, everything open. It's like it looked like a brewery, but for coffee. Literally looked like a beer brewery.
Like the whole huge tin,
but for coffee.
Capsule things for like brewing coffee.
Was so cool.
And then like it's a big coffee shop, and it's almost like a bar too.
We sat at the bar like around, but they had like a big ass room in the back.
Yeah.
For maybe like if you needed to do like an event or meeting or whatever, but like big huge table and then couches and stuff. On our side, there were smaller tables.
They had singers there too.
Yeah, they had singers.
So that's awesome.
They had a bunch of couches and stuff like that, and then they had on the other side too. There was like little round kind of booth. I saw those. Yeah. And then they had food as well, and then wine and beer because they close at 5. I mean, it's just like a nice maybe after work, go sit down and
a lot of people are doing work there. I got the Thin Mint Latte, which is a special for St. Patty's Day.
It was
great.
Excellent.
They had like Crumples Thin Mint on the side.
I should have had that. I mean, I like that better. I mean, I loved my matcha. Don't get me wrong. No, I didn't even have matcha because they didn't have the
chai.
I had the chai because I love hot, and it was kind of cold because we had sweated so much.
It was a big thing of chai too. So
yeah, it was a big huge cup, and she has pictures, so she sent a picture.
My sister got an iced chai. Well, she got iced chai, and I think I preferred the iced chai. And usually I like hot chai, but that iced chai was really good.
Just so you know, there's a tiki bar boat that just went by. Pick us up.
Hitchhikers.
Yeah, but I mean, mine was super cool. I mean, the design on your coffee was outstanding. But I will say my coffee was good, but her coffee, and I don't know why I would have never chosen this. So freaking good.
Yeah.
It was made with espresso. It was so freaking good. And then we had food. I had an acai bowl with almond butter. Was excellent. Your sister ate hers as well.
I had a bacon, egg, and cheese Sammy. It was amazing. Like, you can't go wrong with that.
I saw some people at the end. Like
cinnamon roll. The cinnamon roll.
The cinnamon roll, yeah. Good. I didn't even have a chance to. You guys ate it all. That was my idea to buy one.
I need to go back and get it because it was so good. Like the frosting. There
was a lot of frosting. That's why I got it. So I'm like, I just want to have a bite with frosting. Just one bite. Didn't even get that. But I saw a table next to us, and they had like it was a burrito thing, but it was open and like a amount of eggs and stuff like that on it. I was like, oh my gosh! I think there was 2, so they were sharing this. But yeah, and they had like little singers and guitar player. I mean, I want to go back, so we might have to review this again because I just want to go. Now that we know it's there, sit down and then really just enjoy. But it was a huge line when we left.
Yeah,
it was extremely popular.
We got there right on time.
Yeah.
And I think they have their own coffee too. Because they had it in the fridge area.
Yeah, they make their own coffee. That's why the whole thing
and they like sell it too.
Oh yeah, they sell. That thing you can bring home. Like it's like a growler, but it can box. I mean, like if you have a meeting like at somewhere like I know a bunch of coffee houses do it, but Starbucks does, and then you just open the thing and it. So they had.
Okay, so that was our coffee shop for this episode.
Yeah.
It was amazing. If you guys are near Pumphouse, go check it out. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I wish I would have found the coffee shop sooner. I'll definitely be going back as well.
I just read about it really quick. It's two brothers that started. They were inspired by their grandfather about coffee, love of coffee, and then that's how it all started.
So
And I think
cool.
I just saw the picture, and I think one of them was there this morning. So
that's awesome.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I think we saw him.
Yeah.
But now we'll dive into our topic, and as I said, we're going to be doing Reddit stories of "Am I the asshole?" If you don't know, which I feel like a lot of people know, people will post a story on Reddit of something that happened and how they reacted in a situation, and you have to vote whether you think they're the asshole or not. And I found like 5 or 6, so I guess we will dive into it.
and I don't know what they
see.
are. So
Yeah, she doesn't know. I've already read them because I mean, some of them are just weird, or some of them are like, obviously you're not the asshole, you know. But I feel like majority of the time the person's not the asshole, but they're still fun to read.
I think.
So-
I mean, I've never like read the story, but I will say like sometimes I don't know why it's because you guys are not pregnant. So I have no idea why I have those on my feeds now. But it's like, you know, like a mom just had a baby, and then they don't want like the family to come in right away. They just want to bond, or like the baby maybe was sick or whatever, and then the grandma is like at the front door with her suitcase, uninvited. And then they're like, well, I want to just see my baby. And then you can hear the mom through the ring, you know, thing. And says like, no, we didn't invite you. Like, we're not ready. And then they were asking, like, is she okay? Is it right? I'm like, no, you don't just walk in there with your suitcase.
Yeah, no, you know, things like that. What the hell?
Or the reveal. And then the mother-in-law like runs to the son. And then the poor wife is like, okay, like what? Like, why are you here? Like, why are you like jumping up? Yeah.
But I hope all these are real and people don't just like make this up. But we'll dive into it. So the first story is am I the asshole for telling my sister her baby's name sounds like a Wi-Fi password? So
That's terrible.
My sister recently had her first baby, and I was genuinely excited for her. She and her husband had been keeping the name a secret the whole pregnancy, saying they wanted it to be unique but meaningful. So at the baby shower, when they finally announced that their name is Zavon Braxton, okay, it's spelled like, it has like the weird E-A-E connected thing. I did
So it's gotta be Braxton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Braxton. Yeah. I did what any supportive sibling would do. I choked on my drink and blurted out, that sounds like a Wi-Fi password, at a futuristic Starbucks. Silence, complete suffocating silence. Then my mom gasped. My sister's face goes red, and my brother-in-law, who normally has the emotional range of a potato, just mutters, wow. I try to recover and say, I mean, it's unique. How do you pronounce it? My sister, looking like she might throw her cake at me, says it's pronounced Zavion Braxton.
So it's not even Braxton.
It's just like
Braxton.
spelled really weird. It's just spelled like a Wi-Fi password. I say, oh, of course. Naturally, my bad. Now my entire family is calling me a jerk for ruining a special moment and being disrespectful. My mom keeps saying, you'll understand when you have kids, but like, I feel like names should be at least somewhat intuitive to pronounce and maybe not look like Elon Musk names. I think that looking at the name, it looks like an Elon Musk name, like something to name his
I'm
kids.
looking at it right now. There's no way. Well, first I thought it was Braxton, but there's like an A and an E next to it.
Yeah.
And how does she pronounce it? Zavion?
Zavion.
Yeah, that's not one.
Okay, but
I would have never pronounced it that way.
That is a cute name, but the way you look at it, it just doesn't, like, I wish you guys could see it because it doesn't look right. But I feel like saying it, my sister would totally be honest with me and be like, what the hell is that name? But also,
she would say another word than that.
Yeah, she'd be like, what the fuck
is that name?
But saying it, like,
or
maybe.
No.
Yeah.
That would be that.
But saying it in front of like everybody at her baby shower, like I get like she's announcing it.
Well, it was just probably like they were so excited. I don't want to defend her because it was also called for and not called for because of the setting of when she said it. But it's just she was probably like, "What the fuck is that?" You know, that I'm guessing that's what happened.
Yeah, she's probably thinking like, you know, Oliver.
No. But even if it is Zavion Braxton. Can you spell it? Can you spell it so that like the teacher will be able to say Zavion?
Yeah, they'll be like,
because if the teacher reads this shit, there's no way they come up with Zavion.
No, but
you know, just make it easy. Like how many way can you spell a name? Don't make it as hard as possible for your kid. Come on.
I do think that. I mean, my sister would say something a lot more mean, but then again, like saying it in front of everybody at the baby shower, like. I mean, we're like right now we're dissecting whether we think she's an asshole or not. We have to choose one. At the moment,
she's an
I don't
asshole.
know. She said she blurted. I mean, she
However,
blurted out that sounds like a Wi-Fi password at a futuristic Starbucks. Like it's funny, but like in front of it, I think that would have been more funny if it were your direct family. We don't know.
Well,
I mean, we don't know.
there.
We don't know
who
who everybody's at the baby shower. With the people named in the story, just like your brother-in-law, your sister.
So you don't know
mom.
if there's like friends and whatnot.
If there were a lot of people there, I'd say you're the asshole. But if it's just your direct family and you're comfortable with everybody, then you're just being a good sister, and you're like, what the hell? What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Or like, how the hell do you pronounce that?
But okay, so on a side note of this is one of our very good friends, Sushin Bori. For a while, she was working for, when you graduate and you have to order your cap, gown, and like rings, whatever, if you wanted as a high school. And she was writing names down that she didn't know how to pronounce, and she had to, and it was maybe like a Casey, like, but the way it was spelled, there's no way she knew that meant Casey. So when she would talk to the kids, she's like, "Oh, we pronounce my name Casey." So she would write it next to it, and she would read those down to us later on, and we were bawling. We're like, "What is this? What was this mother thinking? Why are you making this harder?"
Like you
so
can
this name was never and will never be pronounced that way in the first place.
You can name your kid something unique. Like I think that's fun.
Yes,
but like just spell it.
Well, your oldest sister, I remember when I was pregnant, I was thinking we were thinking of names. I'm French Canadian, right? So I remember saying like I wanted her to be named Mackenzie, and that's your grandma first thing. Like I can't even pronounce this name. You can call her Mackenzie.
So she's French Canadian.
Yeah, so I was like, check. We're not calling her Mackenzie.
Yeah. All right. So the second one is did we vote for the first one?
This was an asshole.
Yeah. Sorry. The second one, am I the asshole for pretending not to know what a washing machine was to prove a point? Okay. So, 34 male, they always like specify like the age and
well, that's a male
with that. Yeah.
First.
Do all the laundry in our house. My wife and I have been together for 6 years, and she never once has done a load of laundry. That's me with Bryce.
Yeah, but you know how to do laundry.
It's not that she refuses. It's that she has somehow convinced herself she is physically incapable of doing it. Every time I suggest she try, she says something like, "You have a system, I don't want to mess it up," or "You're just better at it than me." So last week I got fed up and decided to conduct an experiment. I told her I forgot how to use the washing machine. She looked at me like I had grown a second head and said, "What do you mean?" I told her, "I don't know how it works. I don't know what buttons to press. It's too confusing." She said, "Shut up. Yes, you do." I shrugged and said, I don't like how they're like saying this as if I'm reading a book. Anyway, let me continue. I shrugged and said, "I guess we'll just have to wait until someone else figures it out." I let the laundry pile up for a full week. By day 7, she was out of socks and getting frustrated. She finally went into the laundry room and yelled, "Oh my God, it's not that hard." And just like that, she did an entire load perfectly. I said, "See, I knew you could do it." She was not amused and accused me of being petty and childish. I argued that I had simply given her the same excuse she'd given me for 6 years. Now she's mad and my friends are divided. Some think it was genius, others say I was being an ass.
I'm sorry. She's the asshole.
No, right I think she's smart. She got away with it for 6 years.
Yeah.
But I think that you're not the asshole. I think that was really funny. And like
the guy. I don't think the guy's an asshole.
No, the guy's an asshole.
She's just like being a prissy princess. But I mean, yeah, okay.
It's a blue job. It's a blue job. For the men. Laundry's for the men. I don't want to do it.
No, it's not. I mean, okay, I like the way I'm so picky on how to fold my clothes, so I will do it. And I have days. My kids know which day I do the laundry. Each day I was doing the laundry, and each day I was doing the towels or whatever. However, they were swimmers, so towels were always being washed all the time. But I'm very picky on how to fold clothes. So if your clothes, and she can tell you, and my ex-husband can tell you, her dad, if your clothes are inside out, it will be folded inside out.
And that's fine because I'll just.
But I was doing
a little passionate there. Hold on.
But I think she was just. I mean, maybe she's doing something else now. Okay, we're gonna give it a benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's doing something else in the house.
No, because every relationship is different. Like Bryce and I switch off. I mean, he tends to do it more often, but
you clean the bathroom.
Off. Yes, so we switch off. So if she's doing something else or she's at work, then that makes sense for the past 6 years. But I think this is an innocent, funny situation, and nobody is the asshole.
Hilarious.
I don't think anybody is the asshole in the situation. I don't think she's the asshole. I don't think he is. He let it slide for 6 years. No. So no, he's not the asshole. It was just a funny, innocent joke, whatever. Like we'll see if who does laundry from now on, if that changes. But
They could share.
we need more background information to see like what
Yeah,
other.
if she's doing something else, like
Yeah.
you pick
Then it makes
another-
sense. It
yeah.
makes sense if she's not doing it.
Yep.
All right. So the third one is, am I the asshole for making my husband think he was in a time loop? I think this one, I already read it. It's really funny. It's kind of like another experimental one on their significant other, which I love reading those. So, my husband is obsessed with sci-fi movies and always tells me how he would totally notice if you were stuck in a time loop. So I decided to test the theory. One Saturday, I recreated the previous Saturday down to the smallest detail. That's so mean.
Oh, she's good.
I wore the exact same outfit, made the same breakfast, scrambled eggs with hot sauce, 2 pieces of toast, one cut diagonally, one straight, and even laughed at the same dumb joke he made about the toaster sounding depressed. So, I mean, he's also in a time loop, though, if he said the same joke, right?
Yeah, I know.
I texted his best friend and asked him to send the same exact meme at the same exact time. I even faked a phone call from my mom and repeated the conversation verbatim. By 3 p.m., he looked visibly unsettled. By dinner, he was pale and kept staring at his hands like he was in a horror movie. Then he whispered, "Babe, I think something's wrong with time." I said, "Oh my God, you're noticing it too?" At this point, he legit started sweating. He stood up, grabbing his phone, and Googled how to break a time loop. He actually suggested doing something completely unpredictable. I almost lost it when he suddenly yelled, "Quick, let's drive to the beach. We never do that on a Saturday." That's when I finally cracked and told him the truth. Instead of laughing, he just stared at me in horror and said, "You are a menace to society." Now he says he doesn't trust me and keeps side-eyeing me when anything feels vaguely familiar. That's funny.
That's hilarious.
She's not the asshole. I think that's hilarious.
I think this is
Guys can be so gullible and be like come up with the craziest conspiracies. So I think that's awesome. I mean, if it were to happen to me,
I'm sorry, but I know how your dad is huge on conspiracy theories. I should have, when we were married, I should have done something like this. You would have
my dad had a conspiracy podcast. So if that tells you anything, we should have done that to him. He'd be like, "Holy shit, it's coming true."
Girls, let me tell you.
He'd be like, "Listen to this." He'd get on his podcast. He'd be like, "I got to get the mic out today."
And it was a mic just
Today
like
has been the
this,
same day as last Saturday.
That's like the movie Groundhog Day.
Yeah, he would, or like those movies where they have to relive the same day over and over until like they get it right. He would actually think he's in the Matrix. Or some
he would
crazy
have.
shit.
Damn it, we should. I mean, we
but
didn't think
like
about
guys
it,
can be like that, and I think that is an awesome joke, and it also it humbles them a little bit. You got to humble them. Sometimes.
Well, and that's the thing is like he got caught and he's just a little bit butthurt.
He's embarrassed. He's embarrassed because he freaking believed it.
Yes.
But no, you're not the asshole. I think that was very, very entertaining for me to read, and I can relate to it because my dad would be mad, but it would be funny to pull that prank on him.
So I know he's gonna watch this and he's gonna be the first one to comment.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Whoa." I would not. Yes, you would.
Yes, you would.
Maybe he'll forget about this and I'll do it to him in like a month. Something.
Yeah, you would remember.
Yeah. Okay. Am I the asshole for humiliating my sister's fiance at a family gathering after what he did to her? I'm always for
I'm
always for putting people in their place, and I know my sister would do this for me too. And I do that for her too.
Your sister even more.
Yeah.
I mean, she would not even wait. It would be like right on the spot. Let's go.
All right, ready? My sister has been with her fiance for 3 years. There's little bugs everywhere. She always been more reserved, quiet type, while he's loud, extroverted, and sometimes a little over the top. We tolerated him, but recently he crossed a serious line.
Tolerated him.
A few weeks ago, my sister came to me in tears because her fiance had pranked her in front of his friends by pretending to propose in an elaborate setup, only to laugh in her face and say, "Just kidding, babe. You really thought I was serious?" His friends all laughed while she stood there humiliated. She didn't break up with him, which I think she should have. Yeah. But she was heartbroken. He later gave her some half-hearted excuse about how he actually had a proposal planned soon, and this was a joke gone wrong. Fast forward to this past weekend at our parents' house when we were having a big family dinner, and he was there acting like nothing happened. While chatting, somebody asked when they were getting married, and before my sister could answer, he smirked and said, "Guess you'll just have to wait and see, huh?" That was it for me. I smiled sweetly and said, "Oh, is this like how she had to wait for that hilarious fake proposal in front of all your friends? That was so funny, right? Let's all have a good laugh about that now." The table went dead silent. My sister looked mortified, but my parents looked pissed at him. He stammered something about it being a joke, but my dad straight up told him, "That's not a joke, that's cruelty." He left shortly after, and my sister was mad at me for embarrassing him and making things worse. I told her he embarrassed her first and deserved to be called out. My parents are backing me, but my sister says I've ruined things for her. Am I the asshole? No.
No, you're not. And however, I mean, if he's I mean, because I think he's the asshole in this, and he did this. Like, for the sister that's with him, I mean, let's revisit if let's say it was you. That's going to be easier to explain this. Let's say it was you and your boyfriend that did that, right? So I'm the sister, and we did this. I mean, I would be kind of concerned. What's going on in your relationship that he did this to you? This is freaking bullshit.
That he can kind of walk all over you and humiliate you.
And then you think that I made the whole situation worse? No. Like there's something
he's
else
manipulating you.
There's something else behind closed doors right here that's going on.
I think that,
and the parents are backing it up. Like,
but also getting married is like that's like a permanent decision. Well, it should be like a
joke about this.
I mean, most of the time it is like, I mean, getting married is permanent. So, like, you should. I mean, try to stop her at least. Like,
Dad and I are divorced. So
well, yeah, but it's still like.
But
getting married is like a bit like a serious thing. So
it's a serious commitment.
So him doing something to that extent is like, you should, as my sister, I hope she'd be like express her concerns and be like, you shouldn't. Like, I don't think that you should be getting into like.
And then the parents are involved
too.
The parents are
like that's really screwed up to. Like, my sister would do a lot more. Like, she would jump this man if he faked a proposal in front of everybody and then made that little snark comment. Like, where was it? Just kidding, baby. You really thought I was serious? His friends laughed while she stood there.
Okay.
I would lose my mind and I'd be like, yeah, we're done right there. And I'd be like, y'all have a laugh at that too.
Okay, so what's that movie with Cameron Diaz and Ashton Kutcher when they What Happens in Vegas? And her friend in the movie, like when the ex-fiance opened the door and she punched him in the nuts, that'd be your sister.
Yeah. Well, no, I would be like, hey, yeah, we're done right here and we're never going to get proposed. So, yeah, I'm serious too.
No, that boyfriend's an asshole. So, no, the sister is not an asshole. I'm totally for you.
She put him in her in his place. So,
I'm sorry if you guys don't agree. But
I'm going
to back up my girls.
All right,
we can do so many of those, but we don't have that much time.
These are fun. We'll probably, we might do a part 2 because this is fun. This one's a little bit longer. Am I the asshole for not following my husband's family tradition?
Okay.
My husband comes from a very traditional family. While we disagree with his family on many things, it has never really been an issue until now. I'm currently 8 months pregnant, and my husband and I couldn't be happier as we've been trying for a while. Since I first found out I was pregnant, we've been discussing names for our child. In my husband's family, the tradition was the child to be named after his grandfather. Basically, firstborn men in his family only have one of the two names, James or Henry. My husband's grandfather was James, so his name is James too. My husband's father is called Henry, so our child should be too, and so on and so forth. But my husband and I didn't really feel like calling our child Henry, and although it's a beautiful way to honor family members, we really wanted our child to have a name that'd be personal and that'd be truly his. So we chose another name and decided to wait until after the birth to reveal it to everyone. This week, my mother-in-law came to visit us and help us set up for the baby. She brought us some presents, amongst which was a bunch of clothes on which she had embroidered the name Henry. I said that it was nice and thanked her for it, but told her that we wouldn't be naming our child Henry, as we had already told her in the past. She started insisting and saying that it was tradition, so it had to be that way. I explained to her that we'd rather give our child a name that we chose, and that Henry could be his middle name.
Middle name.
That's a good compromise. That's a good compromise. She immediately went to my husband and started saying things like, "You're not going to let her do that to our family," and making it very dramatic, saying that I was breaking a tradition that went back hundreds of years. Honestly, not sure about that. My husband tried to explain that we both agreed on the name and all the reasons why we made that choice, but she wouldn't listen. She suggested that we name him Henry on paper as his legal name and then call him something else. But I thought that'd be confusing for him and told her that he would be named what we chose. We're almost done. She kept begging my husband and saying that I was ruining the family tradition, and at one point I lost it, which is partially the blame on hormones, I think. And I told her that it was our child, so we did what we wanted, and we didn't have to follow a stupid tradition. She stormed out, and my husband has since received texts from his father and sister accusing me of making his mother feel really bad, and some other stuff that I don't really remember. I get the importance of tradition. It can be really beautiful, but also I feel like that shouldn't be an obligation, and it's okay to change things. We won't change our baby's name because we're really set on that. But maybe we're wrong for not following the tradition. I'm not entirely sure, and I'm mentally exhausted by all this drama.
I bet she is, after having a child. So, first the hormones.
Well, I think she's still pregnant right now.
Oh, even that, I mean.
Poor girl. Has to deal with this while she's pregnant. Somebody said, like, what if what if the wife has a different tradition?
Yeah.
You know, like, so you only have to honor the husband's tradition, and it's like things change. It's just not
Well, I mean, like I said,
always
like,
going to be a thing.
the
Not
kid
everybody's
can
going to
have.
agree on
Okay,
that.
so let's say she has a tradition, he has a tradition, and you chose. Okay, it was Henry or James, right? So let's say his tradition was Henry or James, and it was supposed to be Henry. Let's say her tradition was supposed to be George. Okay, so name him. Let's say you chose Oliver, George, Henry.
That's
Like,
cool.
all the names are there. As I said,
But even if you don't,
actually, it's pretty
Yeah.
strong names. Like, that's something we
Yeah,
need to remember. Oliver, George, Jane,
Henry. But the thing is even if they don't want to do that, they don't have to do that because
No, it's their baby.
It's not a law. It's not immoral. It's not morally wrong, and also they created that being, so they can name it what they want.
It's their baby.
And I think that you should respect that because it's not your child at the end of the day. And I understand it can be like hurtful because it's like tradition and it's like it feels wrong at first because you're like, oh, like this has been something in our family that's been going for a while. But you need to accept it at some point that you have no control over it and it's their decision.
Like in our family, like my mom, just like I said, Mackenzie, she couldn't say that name, so she just wanted to be able to pronounce a name. That was not that much to ask. And then your dad's mom, I guess she just wanted to, like, all of her sons and daughters were all like, and daughter, your aunt, they were all like biblical names, and so for her it was kind of like important to be, let's say, a saint.
Yeah.
And then so we went with like, okay, you know what? Like, we can pronounce this in French too, so we're gonna go with saint. It turned out to be like you guys are all saints, and your names are all saints,
Queens
and princesses or queens, yeah.
Which
And that was not
a
really
lot
planned, but we, like your name actually. So it's Isabella Grace, and then yours is Catherine Faith, and you were supposed to be what was
Gabriella.
Gabriella, and I kind of almost chose. I mean, your dad and I loved Isabella and Grace, and when she was born, and the nurse, like, we said we just don't know, and the nurse said, like, when she's going to be born, like, you're going to know right away, and I was like, oh, it's Isabella, type thing. So, but for you, he wanted to choose it, and it was Gabrielle. I had all the letters all painted and stuff, put in your bedroom. I will always remember where I was in the kitchen, and he came down the stairs that morning. He's like, her name's going to be Catherine. It's like that. She's a saint, she's a princess, but she's also my great aunt, and she was my favorite. Okay. Therefore, I went to the store that day, pulled off all the letters, repainted the Catherine, and
that is why I'm now also the favorite child.
So she thinks. But I decided the spelling, though. I'm the one who decided your spelling. And then Amelia, well, that was later. So you guys were all, we were a big group.
It was fun because we could, like, my childhood best friends and their parents, we were all like one big family. So we all sat and like looked at baby name books to help decide for my little sister's name, and it ended up being Amelia Hope. So it's Isabella Grace, Catherine Faith, Amelia Hope. So it's just like satisfying that it's like
Grace Faith.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were all, so that was fun because we were all together to decide it. But yes, I don't think that anyone, it's your own child. I don't think anyone should dictate or even the first one, or at least spell it that people.
I mean, that's kid. You can name it that, like, that's a cute name. Xavion is such a cute name, but just like don't spell it like that.
Spell it the way it says how to pronounce it. Hallelujah. Then everybody knows how.
Yeah, it was very like cute spelling, and it's a cute name. It just don't like do some weird lettering. Like it's just doing too much.
When I was at school, I will always remember this. My very first day at Palmer College to become a chiropractor, it was a very old doctor, and it was the central nervous system CNS class. And he was naming everybody. We're 200 people in the class. He took the whole class to name it. And he butchered everybody's name. But mine was Line, and I'm Lynn, but I'm spelling it Lyne.
Because that's like
because it's a French way to spell it, or Line, which would be line, but it's Lyne. And then he said Bergeron instead of Bergeron. I was like, holy shit, that's me. I had to raise my hand. So Line stayed forever. Like my
Line Bergeron,
Line Bergerons, yeah.
But yeah, no, she's not the asshole in this situation.
No, she's not.
But
I will support her on that one.
Yeah,
I will support
absolutely.
And being a mom, I will support. Like I just, at the beginning of the episode, I was just talking about how it is your decision if you want whoever in your room to have, to give birth. whoever you
Hold
want
your
to hold,
baby.
whoever holds your baby, and this and that, and then all the rules, wash your hands, whatever. I mean, it will change from your grandma will tell you, like Isabella's like, oh my gosh, everything needs to be disinfected. Yours, there we go, like put your passy in, whatever. Amelia, even worse. But it is your decision.
It's your baby.
It is your baby, and stick to it unless you're completely ridiculously like
crazy
freaking
about it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Now
Like,
we're gonna
no,
take it.
isolate my baby.
Yeah,
But-
maybe you have like, the baby blues or the depression, postpartum depression. Maybe we need to talk about this, but otherwise it is your baby.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you want to call him something very unique, just make sure that we can read it and pronounce it well.
Yeah, because the baby,
because
then when that baby, when that kid's gonna get in like 4th grade and have to spell his name, it's gonna be like,
how many times he's gonna have to say how?
well, actually, you learn how to spell your name in like 2nd grade, so he's gonna be confused.
I know, but for everybody that's going to try to say his name, it's going to be wrong all the time.
That is all the stories we have for today.
But I want to do this again.
Yes, we will do it again. That was a lot of fun. Those stories were very interesting. I'm glad I found some good ones. But let us know what you guys think. If you disagree, and if you disagree with our opinions on this.
Yes, that's true.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys listened to this episode. Go check out Pumphouse Coffee
if you're in Palm
near.
Beach.
Yeah,
and actually, I just heard when I was reading it, they're also in Jupiter.
Oh wow!
So if you are in Florida, just go and try on the East Coast. Try that out.
Go check it out. Thank you guys for listening to this episode.
Oh, wait! Your sister gave me a "Would you rather."
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. At the end of every episode, we do a "Would you rather." So we'll do that really quick.
So she chose, Catherine. Would you rather be the funniest person in every room or the most intelligent person in every room?
Okay. I'm gonna be the funniest person because at the end of the day, like, I think that you can put a smile on people's face. I mean, intelligence I think is very, very important, but when you're funny, like, I feel like you can put a smile on people's face, and it honestly is more like satisfying to see other people smile than like know more than other people. So I'm gonna pick the funniest person in the room.
That's good. And you are usually the funniest person in the room. So.
Thanks.
I mean, she trip on air. This is a talent that she owns.
Yeah.
To a T.
Yep. But
Tiki Bar's coming back.
Yeah.
They're coming to pick us up. We need to
dive off the dock and start swimming.
We need to end this episode. We gotta go on a Tiki Bar.
But go follow us on TikTok, AITAHcoffee.break, or AITAHcoffee_break, Instagram, AITAHcoffee.break, YouTube, A Coffee Break with Kat and Mom. And our podcast episodes come out every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode, and we will see you guys next week.
Love you guys.